Bonjour, j'espère que votre famille est bien et vous, ça va? Je vais bien, très bien, oui, et ma famille aussi. This is In Conversation with Zoe, and I'm Zoe Chinaka today. I'm super excited to be sharing a life-changing subject matter, and I do hope you can join in the conversation down below in the comment section. So throughout the night I've been writing, and I have some wisdom to share. That's how my father would put it. Yes. Woo! So wisdom for today. That's today's wisdom is what I'm sharing today. And I'm continuing on the faith series. I know I've diverted from the branding series now to faith series because that's what the times require, and there seems to be an urgency from the spirit realm, and you may not feel it, I may not know it totally, but I do know that these are signs of what is to come. And should this pass over, as we pray and hope it does pass over, we have to equip ourselves, our spirit, souls, and bodies, so that whatever comes our way, we will be able to handle, manage, and deal with it and come out victorious. And that's why I'm continuing on the faith series. So today, my subject, the title is Favour. I know, favor is, to so many, it may not sound like it has a correlation with faith, but honey, it does have a correlation with faith. Let me just quickly type in here. I didn't plan to do this, but I know what favor is, but let me just explain according to Webster's dictionary and all of that what favor really is. So favor is, the definition is approval, support, liking for someone or something. It is also an act of kindness beyond what is due or what is normal. The verb part of it says it is a feeling, a show of approval or preference for something or someone. And still in verb, it is, to give someone something desired. Wow, it just complements my conversation today. Underline desired, right? Because this is a class. This is you and I talking. So this is from the Oxford Dictionary, and I'm super excited that it has something desired in brackets here, because that just gives the punch to what I'm sharing today. So let me just go through my notes, because this just came to me overnight and I woke up writing. So this is what I wrote. What is favor? It is preferential honor. Those are my words. That's what I consider favor to be in my terms. I think it's preference. When people prefer something over another, you're favoring something over the other. So that's favor. And then this is why favor is, for me, is related. And that's what the Spirit is telling me. That's what, my knowledge of wisdom is nudging me to share with you. I used to think that favor was, getting what you did not deserve, but you just desired it, right? That's what I used to think. I just thought that it was what you wanted. You didn't have to work for it. It just came even if you did little or no work at all, or you put in no effort. That was the part that used to get me crazy. I'd be like, anyways, so when you put little or no effort into something, and then you get astonishing results, as those who have worked so hard, putting so much effort, are getting out of it. And this almost damaged me. Well, it did have a dent on my processing, my mental ability, because I believe in working for something. I believe in merit. I believe in hard work, smart work, whatever term you call it. I believe in making efforts. That's my mantra from my father and my mother. Things will not just be handed to you. That's, so from that, I just carried that on. And I thought that those who had things handed to them were just being spoiled. Well, I'm kind of spoiled as well, if that's really what I thought, which is what I thought. I just was being selfish. But that's another conversation. And in a way, I'm not saying that's not what favor is. I'm saying that favor is not only being handed down or handed things that you just desire without deserving it, or working for or making efforts to get it. Favor, from the understanding I have now with experience, time, age, and learning more of God and Jesus, and just getting more exposed to life, is, let me rephrase that. So favor is made up of 3 ingredients on the earthly surface. This is what the Spirit, my wisdom father, laid in my heart. It's made up of 3 ingredients, and that's what I'm sharing with you. Really, really cool. So favor it requires your attention, right? That's the first ingredient. You are attending to something mentally, emotionally. You are giving your attention to something subconsciously and consciously, because that's where the desire is. Favor requires your intention. So the intention there is what makes it a verb. It's what makes it an active word. And an action word it comes with the word, the terrain. It's in the word. An action is a doing force, right? It's in progress. It's being acted. It's ongoing. So there is an activity attached to intention, which makes it a verb, right? So with attention and intention, the last ingredient here is effort. Now, here's why I got it wrong. Not totally, because I still have something to say for how I used to treat favor, but here's how I got it wrong, because I totally put my eggs in that basket, which was not proper. Now, I said attention, intention, and effort. I wish there was something else I could use as a sentence. I'm a rhymer. So anyways, let me not forget the divine ingredient here that crowns it up to become favor is grace. Because you do not totally deserve it. You do not totally merit it. You do not totally deserve it. You haven't totally worked for it as you should, but you still get it. Here's why. Because of grace. What is grace? Unmerited favor. We all know that, right? Anyways, and that's the offshoot of where favor comes. But then favor from a celestial realm to the terrestrial that we live in, the middle ground is what favor is. The efforts and desire, the divinity, the divine power of God, which is grace, that makes your efforts effortless. That's what favor is about. So let me continue with my notes. Now, all my life, I wrote here, I have envied, I've admired, maybe wrongly, the wrong people, or I have picked out the wrong lessons from their favored lives, right? Because I just felt some people just had things go their way without putting in so much effort as I was putting in, or doing as good as I was, in quotes. And people just got things going their way without seemingly trying to make efforts. I was so wrong. I was foolish. That was a foolish thought. I was wrong to judge them that way. I was wrong to judge favor that way, because favor is much more than that. This is what favor is. Let me break it down now. And I'm going to use 2 instances to drive home my point. I'm going to I'm going to go back to the tablet just quickly. I want to cite my case studies. That's my new thing, case studies. And I'm going to be using Ruth, the story of Ruth, right? So we all know Ruth, and if you don't know Ruth, please, if you can, open with me, go to the Bible. You will find the story of Ruth in Ruth chapter 2, the whole of Ruth. But the main juice here, where I'm extrapolating my thoughts from and wisdom for today, is from Ruth chapter 2, verse 33. And then you go to Ruth chapter 3, 33 as well. So if you Google Ruth and Boaz, you see, why did Boaz help Ruth? What did Ruth say to Boaz? How did Ruth meet Boaz? How long did Ruth wait for Boaz, which became her husband, right? So let me read Ruth chapter 2, verse 13. This was Ruth talking. The New Living Translation is what I'm reading from today. I hope I continue to please you, sir. She replied, you have comforted me by speaking so kindly to me, even though I am not one of your workers. But then don't forget that in this same scripture, it was recorded that Ruth would go early or later after the workers had left to pick up the crumbs of the wheat, the grains that was left over. Yes, she would pick it up, she would gather it and take it home to her mother-in-law, and they would feed off it, and just go through the story, you get it. And let me now underline what I underlined here. So Ruth is my first case study, and I was wrong to judge Ruth, because I thought she was just maybe a really lovely woman that Boaz happened to fall for. And because she was good mannered and everything, it wasn't all that. She made efforts. Now, I'm using my previous understanding of favor and I'm marinating it, mixing it up with my new wisdom of favor. Here is the punchline. Because I do not see the efforts people are making, or because you do not see the efforts I'm making, and I'm getting results, does not mean I'm not making efforts. That is it. That's the message. Okay? So don't be like how I used to be, admiring people and almost getting angry at people for getting things I thought they did not deserve or they did not work for as much as I did. They were getting ahead. And I was not as much as they were. So because I was the hard worker, the work person, the make efforts, I thought that was, that was it. I thought that was in favor. Little did I know that was favor. That was my kind of favor. There are different kinds of favor here. Different levels of favor. Now the Bible also says that God will not give to us, his children, those who identify with him, things that we cannot handle. Now let me bring that to this wisdom. The moral of today is, do not judge others' favor with yours. Do not compare it, because favor, as I've said, needs those three ingredients: attention, intention, and efforts. And those are highly relative, because you cannot see my efforts sometimes. You don't know if my efforts is down on my knees, praying, and you don't know if the efforts I'm making is sending emails, or the efforts I'm making is just being warm and friendly, or just standing my ground and being firm and being brave and believing. The different levels of efforts. Efforts could be spiritual, efforts could be emotional, mental, it could be social, it could be professional, it could be physical, just what you see, social. There are different levels of effort. So because I do not see the efforts you're making, does not mean I'm not making as much efforts as you are making. We're just making it in different ways. I wrote an article a while back, and I really love that article. I don't know, it's titled, I think so. It's titled, Success May Not Be the Same for Me as It Is for You. We have different indicators and indices, metrics by which we measure efforts, okay, or success. So back to Ruth's favor. Ruth's favor with Boaz, the intention and attention there was she intentionally started going to the farm and the fields of Boaz. That was an intention. That was premeditated. That was effort in its own way. Because she planned to, maybe even if her mother-in-law asked her to, which she did, right? And she started picking, she started gleaning, picking up the leftover grains, and Boaz saw her and said, you know what? He told his servants, give her what she wants. And she went on in that particular verse I read, she asked, she had a conversation with Boaz at some point. She went to, there was a part that was really a bit seductive. I don't know, but I mean, it was just beautiful. And it was just really soft and warm. There was a part where they had lunch, I think, and then she said, let me find favor in your sight. And she held his garment. Oh, where is it? Anyways, but you just read it. She went in the morning when he had eaten, he was relaxed, and she went to approach him to have that conversation. Now there's so many lessons in there, but that's another, for those relationship experts, they will talk about it. That's not my bit. But she planned this for good, not for evil, not to seduce him or whatever. She just wanted to ask him to favor her. So that's the second level of the effort she made. That's my first case study. Now let me move to my second case study, one that is very relatable to our times as women, as men. Men judge it, women judge it more. Esther, the story of Esther. Now, this is my case study too. Esther, she was clearly a beautiful woman, right? And we all may have judged her wrongly, thinking that was just about her pretty face. It was just maybe because of her skin tone. It was just maybe because she had a lovely voice, or because she smelled nice or something. Well, can I tell you that beauty is effort? So stop judging people wrongly. And can I also land this story and message of mine to faith? This is how it relates to faith. Faith without action is dead. I had to raise my voice for that. Faith without action, without works. Works there means, the synonym for works is action. And action is deed, doing. Faith without action, faith without works is dead. So if you want favor, you have to make efforts. Now, still on the case study of Esther. So beauty is making efforts. If you do not make efforts, we will not see how beautiful you are. We will not compliment you. People will not maybe favor you. People favor people because they are beautiful, or because they speak nicely, or they have talents or whatever. Or can I tell you that they have made efforts that you're not seeing? By maybe polishing their skin or whatever they do, brushing their hair, staying tidy, staying nice, learning, reading, Googling things and tips on how to be more presentable, going on in conversation with Zoe to find how to brand themselves. That is making efforts. Because you're not seeing it does not mean they're not making as much efforts, or even more efforts than you are making. So she was clearly beautiful. But let me take it deeper. Let me take it to the divine celestial realm. So we all know that in continuance of Esther's story, she declared fast as the queen. Oh my God, that was so cool. Anyways, she declared a fast and prayer to all of her people. And they did obey. That was another level of effort, another level of intention. That's the desire here. Okay? And then she cleaned up herself as she went into the pageant competition. She beautified herself, presented herself nicely, and then took part. That was effort. That was attention she paid to herself, and then she got the result she wanted. That was her type of favor. I hope this touches your heart and you can apply it. Thank you.
Yeah.